What's up, guys? This is Kalo, and normally I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, but welcome back to another episode of Community Kitchen, where we're cooking up the latest and greatest gaming news headlines. And who better to join me today than Aiden? Why don't you say what's up?
Hello, everybody. Don't worry about us. We always transfer over.
We always transfer over day to day to give you top tier gaming comments, but I want to say first, before we get into any of that, we'd like to say thank you to each and every one of you guys that are liking these videos, subscribing to Game Sandwich, and if you're new here, do all that and join our community Discord. Links to that is in the video description down below. Now, we're going to double dip on the Call of Duty news because, quite frankly, everyone's talking about it. I like to double dip, you know? I assert dominance over gaming by doing that. But the sentiment around cosmetics within Call of Duty has been talked about at length on this here channel and around the internet. And recently there was a blog post coming out from Call of Duty themselves and Activision talking more about Black Ops 7, what players should expect from the game, what's going, what's staying, and the matter of cosmetics was brought up. I'm going to read the direct quote and then we'll unpack this all. Black Ops 7 needs to feel authentic to Call of Duty in its setting. That is why Black Ops 6 operator and weapon content will not carry forward to Black Ops 7. Double XP tokens and gobblegums will still carry forward because we recognize your time and progression are important. This change applies only to Black Ops 7 and Call of Duty Warzone is not affected, and all of your Black Ops 6 content stays usable there. Aiden, is this gonna heal Call of Duty? Is this what fixes it? Is this what brings it back to life?
I don't know. Personally, I think this is a long time coming. I think that Call of Duty should have done this ages ago. They shouldn't have veered off into that whole, oh, we're gonna have Beavis and Butthead. Oh, we're gonna have Seth Rogen. We're gonna do Jay and Silent Bob things. I wasn't a fan of them doing that stuff. Sure, I'm not the biggest Call of Duty fan to begin with, but I wasn't a fan of them going off the wall with the crazy skins and everything. I mean, people were even saying what the hell is this whenever they did the dragon skins and stuff. They've gone a little bit too far, but in general, I'm glad that they aren't carrying things over. I think at least not carrying things over to the multiplayer. But I also feel bad because I feel like that's kind of money wasted though. I mean, I don't play Warzone. Does all of your multiplayer skins also work in Warzone?
So
vice versa? Or
what they're basically saying is if you did buy let's just say Beavis and Butthead in Black Ops 6 and you want to use them in Warzone whenever Black Ops 7 comes out, you can do that. Anything going forward, it looks like Warzone is going to be still that free ground to kind of do whatever they want there. And then the multiplayer, the hardcore straight up team deathmatch modes and stuff like that, you will not get any of this crazy stuff. What worries me, and this is the one thing that it's the wording of this where it's Black Ops 7 needs to feel authentic to Call of Duty and its setting. What was the thought process back with Black Ops 6? You didn't think it needed to feel authentic? You didn't think it needed to, just be a Call of Duty game? We were doing a Gamer Grudge earlier this week where I just said, yeah, that was Call of Duty just trying to replicate the Fortnite model, and clearly just copying, pasting, and making something your own doesn't really work. And this is a prime example of that, and I don't think this alleviates everything with Call of Duty. I think this is one of the subject matters that definitely do matter with Call of Duty and how bad it's been. But this doesn't alleviate, let's just face it, Black Ops 7 is going to be another copy and paste Call of Duty. From what I've seen of gameplay and everything like that, there's nothing that indicates, yeah, this is an innovative step forward. This is just the annual release of Call of Duty.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It didn't feel authentic. I will say that. Black Ops 6 does not feel authentic to the actual Call of Duty. If you're going back to where Call of Duty was, I guess with Black Ops, the original one. If you ask me, Treyarch, Activision, they should have been spending their time making skins that were unique to Call of Duty and only Call of Duty that fit in the world of Black Ops or
Yep.
fit in the world of Modern Warfare. Instead of going, oh, we're gonna do a crossover with this and being like Fortnite, like you said. I mean, forever ago, I wrote about something that was like people said that like basically Fortnite ruined everything with the introduction of collaborations, and I fully agree with that. Like, and I feel like Call of Duty went too far, and now they're finally reversing course and like returning to not really their roots, but like returning to something that's at least manageable.
Yeah.
And really, though, I think it's like a little bit too late, just because I feel like they're only doing this because of the reception that Battlefield 7 has gotten. It's
There
the
you
only
go.
reason they're doing it. If it wasn't for the reception that Battlefield 7 got, then it would be, oh, we're everything's gonna carry over. Everything's gonna be in the multiplayer. You're still gonna get the craziness. You're still gonna have a unicorn that's shoving its horn up someone's ass. Like you're like nobody really wanted that.
Hmm.
People hated it. People were annoyed by the weapon death effects and everything. Like there was so much annoyance with it. And at this point, like I said, I think their only goal is to just emulate what Battlefield 7 is doing to try and steal whatever pre-orders they can and whatever sales they can from
Hmm.
their competitor because they can't stand that they aren't in the spotlight for once.
This is my thing with, I've always said, like, Call of Duty's just Call of Duty. I want to make it clear, I think this game's gonna sell. I think it's gonna do very well. There was a report coming from somebody. I wish I could pull up the quote right now, but I'm very ill prepared. But they basically said Call of Duty's still gonna sell because it has casual appeal. People are just stuck in this annual buying loop where it's like every year Call of Duty comes out. I hate it, but I'm gonna buy it. We said the same thing happened with the Switch 2, where everyone said they were gonna boycott it, but they still bought it. Best-selling video game console of all time. That still applies to Call of Duty. Whether I always say Call of Duty's worst is what some smaller games wish they could hit, and that is just the nature of being Call of Duty and being such a big game in the space. There was a time in which Call of Duty started doing these collabs. I think that era was Modern Warfare 3, where they did a collaboration with WWE and like Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, and like Rey Mysterio were in there. And there were collabs that I thought could exist within this world. Like they did the horror collabs with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They did Jason. They did all that stuff. But what you said about like Seth Rogen, Beavis and Butthead, the anime skins that were cel shaded, that is where we lost track. That is where we jumped the shark. And whenever Fortnite drops like another Star Wars collab, you're like, oh, that while it's impressive to see that they're doing all this, it makes sense in that world. Like you're not moaning and groaning that, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're doing a Dragon Ball Z collab. I can't believe they're doing an Incredibles collab, because the art style and the gameplay lend itself to those properties. This with Call of Duty is a different thing, where it's like, no, what you said with Battlefield being more of a true to life war simulation, Call of Duty has been that, albeit a little more arcadey at times, but it's still real life. It's still grounded there.
It's supposed to be real life, but it clearly they just like threw that out the window
Yeah.
forever ago. But I mean, it is supposed to be more arcadey, and that's what people like about Call of Duty is that it is more arcadey than than Battlefield. I was about to say Black Ops, but that would have been a blunder. That would have been funny, but still, like it's supposed to be more arcadey than Battlefield, and people go to Battlefield because they want the more groundedness of it. There are some collabs that did work with Call of Duty, like you mentioned, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I remember, what was it? Infinity Ward's Call of Duty.
Was that Modern
Ghosts.
Warfare
I want to say. I
Ghost?
want to say it was Ghosts or Infinite Warfare.
Mm-hmm.
No, Infinite Warfare was the one that had that killer mode or whatever that you ran around as Michael Myers and you could like stab someone.
Yes.
And that like that mode was fun. That was a good arcade mode to have. You can still have these collaborations, be it in just like an arcade setting, you know? Let it be like a free, oh, this is season 3 or whatever. Here, this season you can play this game mode with like, you know, Squid Games or whatever. Let that be a thing, but let that be like a free edition where only when you're playing that game mode you get to play as those people, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, now you just get that skin. You have to buy the skin. You have to buy that game mode in order to play them wherever and then get all these special effects. You're going way too above and beyond with it when you don't need to. And that's the
Hmm.
problem that Call of Duty had, is they went way too far with it. Like you mentioned, like the anime girl cell shadedness. Like that skin specifically, that annoyed a lot of people because the death effects too. Like why do we need death effects? Like
Yeah.
what special does that offer anybody? I mean, really it got a lot of people annoyed and angry because they were dying and there was giant blobs on the screen and they had to fix it anyway.
Hmm.
Like, come on. It's just like let's keep things like structured here a little bit. You can still have your fun. Let there be arcade modes,
Yeah.
but also let's just keep things grounded a little bit, you know? And I'm glad that Call of Duty's doing it, but again, it is far too late in my opinion because Battlefield already has the hooks in people
Hmm.
and it's slowly dragging people away at this point because people are sick of what like Treyarch and Activision are doing with Call of Duty.
So to kind of put this in perspective, for recent collabs and upcoming crossovers, we have American Dad, Beavis and Butthead, John Wick was one of them. I Know What You Did Last Summer. There was like a season 5 thing. Squid Games, again, that makes sense. Die Hard, Judge Dredd, Scream, Godzilla and The Walking Dead, Snoop Dogg, 21 Savage, Nicki Minaj. They were all in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone. There were certain NBA players like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and Gundam, just to name a few. Now, you see where that list, there is the things that, sure, like, it's a video game. I expect, like, I don't know, John Wick or, like, Die Hard to be in Call of Duty, or Rambo, they did at one point. It's like, that makes total, like, not total sense, but, like, I can see it within the world. Then you start getting into like American Dad, Gundam. I mean, Godzilla and King Kong. Like, if you want to do an overworld event where like King Kong and Godzilla are fighting and you have to operate through them and like fight around them, sure. Hey, but I don't need King Kong to be a
No,
skin.
Battlefield, you do that because you're all
Destruction.
about map destruction. Like, come
Mm,
on, Battlefield, you do that. Do King Kong versus Godzilla, have a giant map where they're fighting. You have to avoid their feet. Oh, that would be a lot of fun, actually.
it,
If Battlefield could do one arcade mode,
It
that one
would
right there.
be. I also want to stress the point because, like, the theme of this video is, did these cosmetics ruin Call of Duty? They made it clear, like, while it's not within the Black Ops 7 multiplayer, I surely expect whenever Warzone updates its map or gets a new thing, we're gonna be still getting, like, a Beavis and Butthead level of collab where it's like, that wacky and zany whatever they're trying to do there, that's still gonna happen. Like, Call of Duty will still have those collaborations because they make the money, and like, money is what drives everybody nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, those collaborations are clearly still going to be in Warzone. I mean, maybe they're going to keep things grounded. Maybe they're going to do like only like real world people or something now, or maybe they're only going to do like special skins or something that are based only in the game, but they're still going to have those collabs with Warzone.
Ah,
Because like Warzone's going to be that thing that makes them money with skins, like how Fortnite gets money from their skins. It's going to be that same deal.
yeah, and let's not forget Call of Duty Mobile. That's a big thing. People are gonna want to buy into that. And I also forgot the Ninja Turtles. They were a collab at some point. Still can't believe that one. It gets a little off the rails. But yeah, I mean, in a year where we talked about Battlefield suddenly climbing the ranks, and now it's like, oh, Call of Duty needs to wake up. Maybe this is them finally doing that, where they're like, okay, now we actually have to try. And fool me once, I get it, but I feel like post Black Ops 7, Call of Duty really needs to lock in and just be what Call of Duty always should be. And I don't know. I have little faith, but who knows? Maybe they surprise me.
No, I'm thinking honestly, like I'm thinking Battlefield 6 or whatever is actually getting like Treyarch and Activision to be aware
Yeah.
that they are not as powerful as they think that they are, and Call of Duty is not as infallible of a series as they think that it is. So really, I think now is like a good crucial turning point for them And if they don't do something with Call of Duty that just like makes it more appealing to people than like just kids,
Mm-hmm.
then they're going to end up losing a good chunk of their audience to a game that is honestly just more grounded and better overall.
The direct quote from one of the developers was, "Call of Duty is too big to fail." I agree right now, but if these mistakes keep piling up, never say never. Just never.
I mean,
Never say never.
nothing's too big to fail. I mean, people said they like once upon a time, people said GameStop was too big to fail, and stores closed left and right.
Yeah, they're selling cards
And
now.
they needed major restructuring, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Hey,
don't ever think Call of Duty is too big to fail. It's not too big to fail because all it takes is like multiple years of mistakes that people absolutely hate and dread, and then another like just some other entity to come in and take its place.
yeah.
Really, like Battlefield 6. Then there you go. That's a recipe for it to either not maybe fail completely, but at least get downgraded by a serious amount.
There you go. Couldn't have said it better myself. And speaking of downgrading, if you're not subscribed to Game Sandwich, that's a downgrade. So upgrade and subscribe here for more video game content just like this, and drop a like on the video, of course. And if you want to talk more about your favorite games, maybe even Black Ops 7, join our community Discord. But as of right now, I've been Kalo, joined by Aiden, and we'll see you guys next time.
Don't worry, you'll be able to buy skins of us for $5.99 a piece.
If you enjoyed today's video and want more content just like this, consider subscribing to Game Sandwich for all your news, rumors, and reviews. And we'll see you guys next time.